inject
some energy
into this competition.
Hi, I'm Vincent Douglas.
Hi, I'm Marika Batiste.
Hi, I'm Jelani Murray.
And we are Team DASGS.
Hi guys, my name is Abia Matthews.
I'm Stanislaus Bones.
I'm Sarah Talton.
And we are Team DTVE.
I know for a fact
that we got this.
Hi, I am Akila Michael.
I'm Naisha Richards.
I'm Junior Primus.
Hi, I'm Sylvan Johnson.
We're Team DTE and we're gonna school the competition. Hi, my name is Giselle Henry.
Hi, my name is Shadane Matthews.
Hi, my name is Melanie Matthews.
Representing DNE, we're ready to inject
Some energy
into this competition.
Hi, I'm Vincent Douglas.
Hi, I'm Marika Batiste.
Hi, I'm Jelani Murray.
And we are Team DASGS.
Hi guys, my name is Abia Matthews.
I'm Stanislaus Bones.
I'm Sarah Talton.
And
We are Team DTVE.
I know for a fact
that we got this.
Hi, I am Akila Michael.
I'm Naisha Richards.
I'm Junior Primus.
Hi, my name is Giselle Henry.
Hi, my name is Shadane Matthews.
Hi, my name is Melanie Matthews.
Representing DNE, we're ready to inject
Some energy
into this competition.
Hi. Check it to 10.
I'm Mr. Douglas.
Hi, I'm Marika Batiste.
Hi, I'm Jelani Murray.
And we are Team DASGS.
Hi guys, my name is Avia Matthews.
I'm Stanislaus Bones.
I'm Sarah Talton.
And
We are Team DTVE.
I know for a fact
that we got this.
Hi, I am Akila Michael. I'm Naisha Richards.
I'm Junior Primus.
Hi, I'm Sylvan Johnson. We're Team DTE and we're gonna school the competition. Hi, my name is Giselle Henry.
Hi, my name is Today Matthews.
Hi, my name is Melanie Matthews.
Representing DNE,
We're ready
to inject
Some energy.
into this competition.
Hi, I'm Vincent Douglas.
Hi, I'm Marika Batiste.
Hi, I'm Jelani Murray.
And we are Team DASGS. Hi guys, my name is Xavier Matthews.
I'm Stanislaus Bones.
I'm Sarah Talton.
And we are Team DTVE.
I know for a fact
that we got this.
Hi, I am Akila Michael. I'm Naisha Richards.
I'm Junior Primus.
Hi, I'm Sylvan Johnson. We're Team DTE and we're gonna school the competition. Hi, my name is Giselle Henry.
Hi, my name is Today Matthews.
Hi, my name is Melanie Matthews.
Representing DNE,
We're ready
to inject
Some energy.
into this competition.
Hi, I'm Vincent Douglas.
Hi, I'm Marika Batiste.
Hi, I'm Jelani Murray.
And we are Team DASGS. Hi guys, my name is Xavier Matthews.
I'm Stanislaus Bones.
I'm Sarah Talton.
And we are Team DTVE.
I know for a fact
that we got this.
Hi, I am Akila Michael. I'm Naisha Richards.
I'm Junior Primus.
Hi, I'm Sylvan Johnson. We're Team DTE and we're gonna school the competition. Hi, my name is Giselle Henry.
Hi, my name is Today Matthews.
Hi, my name is Melanie Matthews.
Representing DNE,
We're ready
to inject
Some energy.
into this competition.
Hi, I'm Nistan Douglas.
Hi, I'm Rifle Batiste.
Hi, I'm Jelani Murray.
And we are Team DASGS.
Hi guys, my name is Xavier Matthews.
I'm Stanislaus Bones.
I'm Sarah Talton.
And we are Team DTVE.
I know for a fact that we got this.
Hi, I am Akeelia Michael. I'm Naisha Richards.
I'm Junior Frameless.
Hi, I'm Sylvan Johnson. We're Team DTE and we're gonna school the competition. Hi, my name is Giselle Henry.
Hi, my name is Shadane Matthews. Hi, my name is Melanie Matthews.
Representing DNE,
We're ready
to inject
some energy
into this competition.
Hi, I'm Nistan Douglas.
Hi, I'm Rifle Batiste.
Hi, I'm Jelani Murray.
And we are Team DASGS.
Hi guys, my name is Xavier Matthews.
I'm Stanislaus Bones.
I'm Sarah Talton.
And we are Team DTVE.
I know for a fact that we got this.
Hi, I am Akeelia Michael. I'm Naisha Richards.
I'm Junior Frameless.
Hi, I'm Sylvan Johnson. We're Team DTE and we're gonna school the competition. Hi, my name is Giselle Henry.
Hi, my name is Shadane Matthews. Hi, my name is Melanie Matthews.
Representing DNE,
We're ready
to inject
some energy
into this competition. Tell me when. How are we on time? Half an hour behind now? Okay. Need to start everything in that time. Say something. Good. We do apologize for the technical hiccup, and we appreciate your feedback online for bringing it to our attention. So if you can hear us clearly, you can just let us know in the comments. And thank you, Darius, for that special rendition of the national anthem of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. At this time, I would like to invite none other than the director of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, Mr. Nigel Scott, to offer some brief remarks.
Thank you, Ms. Kirby. I'm not sure if it was deliberate or not, but I don't think we prayed. But if it was deliberate, then let me take the opportunity to pray as we invite God's presence and thank Him for His continued goodness and protection on the SVGCC as we continue to do what we can in this part of the vineyard. Lord, we give you praise and we honor your name. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. You may be seated. I just want to say that it is indeed a pleasure for us to be able to host this interdivisional competition this year. Some of you would know that conversations for the Windward Islands debating competition began back in about 2016 when we were approached by Milton from Medgar Evers College, because there has been for many, many years a Leeward Islands competition that has been taking place, and Medgar Evers was very involved in that competition. That's a highly rated competition among the Leeward Islands. And so there was felt that there was a need for a similar competition in the Windward Islands. My former Deputy Director, Eula Adams, would have been part of those conversations that eventually bore fruit with the first edition of the Windward Islands debating competition among the colleges of the Windward Islands in 2017. So St. Lucia hosted in 2017. We in St. Vincent here hosted in 2018, Grenada in 2019, and Dominica in 2020. So the cycle among the four Windward Islands started in St. Lucia, ended in Dominica. It started with the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College being represented by the then only debating club within the college, and that was the club at DASGS, Division of Arts, Sciences and General Studies. We tried for quite a while to get the other divisions involved, and finally we were able to get participation from the other divisions that eventually led in 2020 to us having the first interdivisional competition, which really was between the Division of Arts, Sciences and General Studies and the Division of Nursing Education. At that time, we only got those two divisions involved. So it really is heartening that after a year off for the pandemic, which is what happened last year. There was no debate last year. And having won the 2020 Windward Islands debating competition in Dominica in 2020, after 4 years, we won the final round, that is the final competition in the round of the 4 Windward Islands. So it was really very pleasing. Mrs. Adams was able to retire on a high. There was no competition last year. So I really want to thank the efforts of the coach and our marketing and communications officer, Ms. Tedra Kirby, for ensuring that this year, as we prepare for the divisions, this gives us the best possible opportunity, I believe, to select the best possible debaters to represent the SVGCC in this year's Windward Islands debating competition. So let me say how much I am pleased by this effort and how much I'm appreciative of the hard work that has gone in. I know the debaters have worked hard, and we are indeed looking forward to the preliminary competition today and then the finals tomorrow. So, on behalf of the Board of Governors, and I do, as I mentioned the Board of Governors, I can't but mention one of our board members. One of our sponsors from day one has been Games Book Center. Dennis Games, the proprietor of Games Book Center, who is also one of the college's board members, has been 120% or even more behind the college's debating efforts. He has always contributed and continues to contribute financially and in other ways to ensure that debating is continued within the college. There are 4 C's that are generally considered to be the 4 C's that as citizens we need to develop in this 21st century. Communication is one, creativity is another, critical thinking and collaboration are the other 2. 4 C's. I don't think there's another activity that better captures those 4 C's than debating. It allows you to think critically and creatively, sometimes on your feet, when you hear a point made by the other team that you hadn't thought about. It allows you to collaborate as a team. And of course, it ensures that you communicate effectively. So with those few remarks, I want to say welcome, and I really do look forward to this debating competition this year, and then in due course in March to the Windward Islands debating competition, which this year will be hosted virtually, but hosted by St. Lucia as we start that round again. So once again, thank you very much, and do welcome to the SVGCC Interdivisional Debating Competition for 2022.
Quite the viewership online already from as far as Liberia in Africa. That's amazing this morning. Now that Director Scott has given his remarks, I will now hand over to Mrs. Jamisha Roberts Daniel, who would be our moderator today. I apologize that I did not introduce myself in the beginning. My name is Tedra Kirby, and I'm the Communications and Marketing Manager here at the SVGCC. In this case, it's a better late introduction than never. My apologies. So I'll now hand you over to Ms. Roberts, but I implore you to stay online during the debate. It's going to be an interesting engagement, and please support our students as we take this important step in getting us ready for the Windward Islands debating competition, where we do intend, very much so, to defend our title.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kirby. Director of the SVGCC, Mr. Nigel Scott, our judges, our debaters, other students, those viewing us online, a pleasant good morning. So, to get us started this morning, I know you're anxiously awaiting, I'm sure. I'm going to introduce to you our judges. Bio on Mrs. Adams. Mrs. Eula Adams has been a part of the teaching profession for all her working life. She taught at our secondary schools, including the St. Vincent Grammar School. She was later transferred to the St. Vincent Teachers College, now the Division of Teacher Education, where she lectured in social studies and educational psychology. Mrs. Adams was promoted to the position of Dean at the Division of Teacher Education and served in that post for 7 years. She was then appointed to the post of Deputy Director of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, which she held for 5 years and retired in 2020. Mrs. Adams has a keen interest in the Windward Islands debating competition. She was very proud to see the SVGCC win the competition in 2020 in Dominica before she retired. And she looks forward to us winning again in March of this year virtually. So, Mrs. Adams. Our next judge is Miss Maurice Butler. Miss Maurice Butler is the Dean of the Division of Teacher Education. She has served many years in education, and her specialty area is language, literacy, and literature. We also have Mr. Utama Rose. Mr. Rose is a lecturer here in geography at the SVGCC Division of Arts, Sciences, and General Studies. He is a graduate of the St. Vincent Grammar School, the Division of Arts, Sciences, and General Studies, and the University of the West Indies, Mona campus. His notable achievements include the National Public Speaking Champion in 2011. He was also the Deputy Head Boy at his alma mater, the St. Vincent Grammar School, and he was a UWI Guild Counselor. His passions include sustainable development, culture, and music. For our Best Speaker, our judges are Ms. LaFern Fraser and Mr. Roosevelt John. Ms. Fraser has been a lecturer in psychology with the SVGCC since 2007. She holds a Master of Arts degree in forensic psychology, a certificate in women's studies, and has also recently completed a course in psychological first aid. She is also a former Miss SVG, Miss Caraval, and a representative to Miss Universe, and was the coordinator of the Beauty Shows Committee of the Carnival Development Corporation. So one of our best speakers, Miss LaFern Fraser. Mr. Rose, did I pause so that the students can recognize you? No, my apologies. Mr. Rose. My apologies. And we have Mr. Roosevelt John. Mr. Roosevelt John has also been a lecturer at the Division of Arts, Sciences, and General Studies of the SVGCC for over 10 years. Mr. John lectures in communication studies and psychology. So, Mr. Roosevelt John. Now, our debaters this morning. In our preliminary round, we will have the Division of Arts, Sciences, and General Studies against the Division of Nursing Education. Our debaters for that preliminary round, we have for DASGS, Ms. Marika Batiste, Mr. Niston Douglas, Mr. Jelani Murray. For the Division of Nursing Education, we have Ms. Shadin McLean, Ms. Melanie Matthews, and Ms. Giselle Henry. For the second round, for the Division of Teacher Education, we have Ms. Naisha Richards and Mr. Junior Primus. For the Division of Technical and Vocational Education, we have Ms. Sarah Turton and Miss Zavia Matthews. Those are our debaters for this morning. I invite Mr. Junior Primus to do the debaters' pledge. Mr. Primus.
All right, pleasant good morning. Okay, so the SVGCC debating competition pledge. I pledge on behalf of my division and on my own behalf to adhere to the rules of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College debating competition. I pledge to respect my fellow competitors and to conduct myself in a manner that will not bring the competition into any disrepute. I also pledge that the information I present as evidence to support my argument is factual. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Junior. Okay, so the rules of the competition. We are going to have 2 speakers from each side. The first speaker will speak for no more than 10 minutes. The second speaker will speak for no more than 7 minutes. And our third speaker, who will do the rebuttal, will speak for no more than 5 minutes. So I'm inviting both of our teams for our first preliminary round, the Division of Arts, Sciences and General Studies, and the Division of Nursing Education to come forward. Okay, so just for clarity for the judges, the topic is all eligible students should be mandated to take a COVID-19 vaccine before being allowed to access face-to-face instruction. All eligible students should be mandated to take a COVID-19 vaccine before being allowed to access face-to-face instruction. The Division of Arts, Sciences and General Studies, led by Marika Batiste and seconded by Mr. Niston Douglas, will be opposing and will be first to speak. The DNE will be proposing, and their proposition leader is Shadin McLean, and seconder is Miss Melanie Matthews. So let the debate begin. So Marika, you can take the podium. Time starts now.
Director of the SVGCC, Mr. Nigel Scott, judges, fellow debaters, students, members of the media, Madam Moderator, good morning. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. These are words by the famed Malcolm X. The topic up for discussion today states that all eligible students should be mandated to take a COVID-19 vaccine before being allowed access to face-to-face instruction. And by the end of our presentation, you will be convinced that the implementation of this mandate not only prohibits we the students from efficiently preparing for today, stated by Malcolm, but also infringes on our personal rights, unjustly penalizes some students for a decision that they cannot legally make, and disseminates years of progress in regards to segregation. Also, we will highlight why there is an understandable reluctance to take the vaccine due to the mass uncertainty surrounding its effectiveness and efficiency, and how, by taking what is supposed to be one's personal choice and making it a mandate, we are eliminating all avenues for critical thinking, and thus making a mockery out of the entire educational system. Former US President William J. Clinton once said, and I quote, "Education is not a privilege, it is a right." And according to Act number 34 of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Education Act of 2006, Part 3, Division 1, subsection 14, titled Right to Education, it states that subject to this act and available resources, all persons in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are entitled to an education appropriate to their needs. Madam Moderator, I want close attention to be paid to the use of the word all in this statement, as it did not specify or relate what was being said to a set group of persons only. It did not exclude non-vaccinated students or persons of a certain social class, but instead clearly stated that all persons are entitled to an education appropriate to their needs. It is known that face-to-face learning is not the only means of attaining an education. There are alternatives such as homeschooling and online learning. However, this leads to the question, will these alternatives be able to sufficiently cater to the needs of our students? Will they provide the education appropriate to their needs? Will the students who are physical and social learners be left behind? A comprehensive study was carried out by UNICEF across the sub-region last year to determine whether or not students prefer to return to the physical classroom or continue to learn via an online platform. The study recorded the views of over 3,000 students, 554 teachers, and 728 parents, and showed that there was a marked preference for face-to-face learning. Madam Moderator, 67% of secondary and 65% of primary students agreed that attending the physical classroom was their preferred avenue of learning, with approximately 90% of all interviewed expressing their need to return to the classroom. This study shows that the majority of our students are expressing a need to attend the classroom in order to perform efficiently, a need be completely disregarded by the implementation of this mandate, as we will be stifling the performance of our students by stripping them away from an environment they need to excel. Members of the audience, is this who we are? Is this the kind of people we have become? Are we really going to be the cause of disadvantage to our students when we know that they are already significantly behind? Are we going to be the ones to limit the opportunities of these students who are proposed to be our future leaders, our politicians, doctors, and lawyers? And if so, are we prepared to face the consequences and live in the grim future we will be creating by doing this? Can you imagine 10 years from now having your loved one die because they were being treated by a doctor who knows the bare minimum about his field, because he attended online learning and knows nothing about the practical aspect? Or losing your home, business, because the lawyer who was defending you barely passed the bar, but he did so because he was the only vaccinated student allowed access to physical learning, despite being at the very bottom of his class. Can you imagine? Because this is the kind of future we are leaving ourselves susceptible to by implementing this mandate. In addition, this, the law states that an individual cannot make their own decisions until they reach the age of majority, which is 18. Parents are advised to let their children make age-appropriate decisions as it helps them to mature, grow, and improve on their judgment. But from a legal perspective, children under the age of 18 cannot make their own decisions. In regards to the vaccine and its implementation, a child who's under the age of 18 has to get their parents or guardian to sign off before the vaccine can be administered to them. And since the age of eligibility for taking the vaccine is from 12 years, I must ask, what if the parent of a child under the age of 18 says no to the administration of the vaccine? What if that said child is willing to comply to the mandate and take the vaccine, but they cannot do so because their parent or guardian will not sign off? Are we still going to prohibit them from accessing face-to-face learning when the choice is legally not their own? Are we going to punish them for something that is completely out of their control? Is this who we are? Finally, the implementation of this mandate will be no different than the Jim Crow laws of segregation or apartheid in South Africa. For what they all have in common is segregation. What they all have in common is the fact that they were built on the foundation of division and separation of our people. I mean, sure, it's not the separation of blacks and whites as it was then, but it's separation nevertheless. It is the same as whites being given access to the best education, the best facilities, the best shot of life, while the blacks were left in the dust, left to suffer. And it's the same way our unvaccinated students will suffer by the implementation of this mandate, because as I have shown, the majority of our students say that face-to-face learning is the kind of education they need to excel. So our unvaxxed students will be left disadvantaged just like our ancestors were long ago. Are we really going to erase years of fighting, marching, and bloodshed just to divide our people once again? Shouldn't we be progressing? Is this who we are? Ladies and gentlemen, let us not move backwards. Let us move forward. Let us find a solution that will be inclusive of all instead of dishing out ultimatums. Because the decisions we make today will shape our future tomorrow. And it might be too late when we look up and realize that we have created a society we don't even recognize. Ladies and gentlemen, let us not allow this mandate, or any mandate as a matter of fact, to give a vaccine or anything the precedence to dictate what makes a human being valuable. Because our lives matter. Unvaccinated lives, they matter. Let us be the change we want to see. Ladies and gentlemen, let us finally decide the kind of people and the kind of society we want to be.
Thank you very much, Marika. Marika spoke for 8 minutes and 32 seconds. I now invite Shadin McLean, the proposition leader, to propose.
Protocol having been established, everybody, good morning. Let us imagine it is the year 2023 and we now feel comfortable sending our students to access face-to-face learning instruction. This reality has been afforded to each and every one of us because they have been vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus. Now, this morning, I'm standing here with the task to propose our debate topic. All eligible students should be mandated to take a COVID-19 vaccine before accessing face-to-face instruction. Now, Madam Moderator, to be very honest with you, this is just a debate topic for us, as this is an issue that affects myself, my teammates, the entire nursing division, as when we think of a safe environment for our students, we expect that their learning environment would be one such place. These expectations are guided by one of many principles that we hold regarding our students' well-being that would ensure their further success. For these points and the points that I'm about to list, my team and I will therefore try to convince you without a doubt that students should be vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus. Now consider this. Public health has always taken priority over individual autonomy. Vaccination for accessing face-to-face learning instruction would help to lower the transmission rates amongst individuals and students. And finally, the risk of severe adverse effects within this demographic will be lowered significantly if they are vaccinated. Now, I would start this first point with a quote from the National Conference of State Legislators 2021. It says, "Good health results not only from proper medical care, but from the efforts to craft and implement public policies and programs to protect and improve the health of all people," end quote. Therefore, we cannot abandon the advice from our scientists, from our health professionals as it relates to vaccinated students, because this would lower the risk and the rate of child mortality, students' deaths within our population. Now, think of this. Is it not both reckless and ignorant to assume that the average man on the street holds more information on public health emergencies, such as the COVID-19 virus, than the thousands of scientists, healthcare professionals, the list can go on, who have spent their time researching and implementing policies that would protect myself, students, teachers, parents from the COVID-19 virus? Now, we cannot forget that many of us, if not majority of us, had to be immunized before we can even access primary education. Now, let's also not disregard the fact that public health policies and protocols are important. Because let us be very honest, without these policies and without these protocols, would we even have a lifestyle? Because simply put, we may not be here today. Now, additionally, vaccination before accessing face-to-face learning instruction helps to lower the risk of transmission amongst individuals, including students. Now, let's consider this, and I will start with a quote from Juno and Wheatley 2021. They did a study, and a result of a large case study of COVID-19 transmission involving more than 365,000 households with a mix of vaccinated and unvaccinated members found that immunization with either the Pfizer or AstraZeneca vaccine reduced the rate of onward viral transmission by up to 40 and 60%. Now, not only did the COVID-19 vaccine stop the transmission, but it also helped to reduce the significant symptoms that persons experienced, and it also significantly lowered the rate of transmission. Now, you may be asking, how does this relate to students being vaccinated before accessing face-to-face learning instruction? Well, Madam Moderator, a reduction in hospital admissions because there has been a reduced risk in transmission and viral infectivity allows our students to thrive effectively. And this, in turn, would also help to flatten our local COVID-19 curve, which would also take much strain off of our already very strained public health and healthcare system. We need to ensure that these public healthcare systems are available to our students with other modalities when they need them, not just COVID-19 cases. Additionally, lowering the risk of severe infection effects is noted or most notable in the vaccinated. And our worthy opponents stressed the point that it is very important that our students are able to access face-to-face learning. Rightfully so, because we think that there is a lot of propaganda and fear-mongering going on. However, this propaganda and fear-mongering is putting our students at further risk for fatality and severe illnesses. Now, consider this. According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, children 5 to 11 years and teens 12 to 17 years are eligible to take the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. And are eligible to take Pfizer-BioNTech, AstraZeneca, Moderna, that's just to name a few. So we understand the concerns, but we are saying, do you want to be safe or sorry? Now, we understand as well that students would not, they would be hesitant, parents would be hesitant. However, students with modalities, we are encouraging them, instead of staying away from face-to-face learning because you do not want to be infected, seek additional consultation from healthcare practitioners so that you would know if you are eligible, keyword, to being vaccinated. Now, I need to also highlight the purpose of being vaccinated because I think oftentimes it flies over many of our heads. The purpose of being vaccinated is to prepare our immune systems to fight off these infectious diseases in the case that, which is highly likely, that we come into contact with these almost fatal diseases. Now, Madam Moderator, let's consider this. Diseases such as polio, hepatitis A and B, rubella, chickenpox, measles, must I go on, were completely eradicated by COVID-19 vaccines. Now, it is important that once students are eligible, keyword, that they or we should consider vaccination before accessing face-to-face learning. By doing so, we also allow this demographic to acquire herd immunity, which would allow our students from passing the virus to student, student to teacher, student to parent, student to relatives, grandparents. We do not want this. So we need to ensure that we do our part to manage infectious diseases in our blessed island, because after all, we are proud. So, in closing, our collective knowledge allows us to appreciate the importance of following public health policies and protocols, as they will protect and prevent us and our students from severe illnesses, even death. We also have decades of evidence that supports the fact that being vaccinated before accessing face-to-face learning helps to lower transmission rates among students. Finally, the risk of adverse effects from COVID-19 infection is lowered significantly in the vaccinated. Do we want to be safe or do we want to be sorry?
Thank you very much, Sharon. Sharon spoke for 10 minutes and 22 seconds. I now invite Mr. Niston Douglas, our second speaker from the opposing side, to make his presentation.
Protocol that had already been established. A pleasant good morning to you all. Albert Einstein said, "Education is not the learning of the facts, but the learning of the mind to think." The mood brought forward by the proposition this morning reads, all eligible students should be mandated to take the COVID-19 vaccines before given access to face-to-face instructions. Madam Moderator, we who are here in this set competition are students and the future of this nation. So how can it be right, and I repeat, right, for a vaccine to be mandated and to made known that if not taken, the students cannot access face-to-face learning? Isn't education a right? The late and great Martin Luther King said, and I quote, "The function of education is to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence and character, this is the true way to education." Madam Moderator, judges, the uncertainty by parents about the COVID-19 vaccine pertaining to their children is a great and important topic. According to Welcome.com, and I quote, "Why is my unvaccinated kid a problem or a threat to your vaccinated kid? There are many differences there are many different components, misinformations, fears, and indifferences that may push the hesitancy of this said vaccine. That is why parents don't want to get their children vaccinated." The long talk about the COVID-19 vaccine across the vast media and the science behind the vaccine is limited. That is another reason why parents are being hesitant on getting their child vaccinated. I would like to quote from Vaccinated. Edward Jenner, a British physician and scientist, was the first person to test for the smallpox and tetanus vaccines that we give to our the children when they are born. Madam Moderator, it may be said, why is a set vaccine a problem for a child to take, and they had to take one sometime after birth? The reason why parents are not hesitant on letting their child be vaccinated sometime after birth with these vaccines, as said, smallpox, tetanus, etc., is because they are tested, proven vaccines that were developed in the 1940s and proven by Mr. Edward Jenner, a British physician, as I said, and scientist, which developed in 1769, which he proved that his vaccine methods worked. Madam Moderator, the education limitations that are in this country and to a wider range, the world, is a very important topic. And if we are not contributing to the education of our students, we will be contributing to the fall of our nation and poorly educated students, and this will be making a mockery of our entire education system. According to George Evans, and I quote, "Every student can learn, just not on the same day or on the same way." According to Majestic Grades, and I quote, "Free face-to-face communication between learners, their teachers, and their peers is the correct way to have an education." According to e-students, and I quote, "The disadvantages of online learning is, one of the disadvantages of online learning is that the online instructors tend to focus more on the theoretical part of the syllabus than on the practical part." In conclusion, if students should be mandated to take the COVID-19 vaccine, Madam Moderator, to be eligible, take the COVID-19 vaccine, Madam Moderator, where would we as students be 5 years? The unjust penalization for choices students cannot make, the uncertainty surrounding the state vaccine, and the educational limitation, which will put barriers so high students may not be able to cross. If we are starting this trend, Madam Moderator, judges, we will be going back to the Jim Crow law, which started in 1880 to the 1960s, which brought a separation between the white and the black people. They were separated from using the same bathrooms, using the same supermarket, the same schools, etc. And if this is the pattern that we are looking for, it will be very distressing. It will be very distressingly familiar to the Jim Crow law. And are we not trying to get out of this way? Are we not trying to get our students to have one set education, Madam Moderator? Judges? Yet the answer to this question is yes. This is why I think that no student should be mandated to take the COVID-19 vaccine in order to access face. In conclusion, Albert Einstein said, everyone is a genius. But if we judge a fish by its intelligence to climb a tree, it will live its entire life doubting its abilities.
Thank you very much, Niston. Niston spoke for a total of 6 minutes and 43 seconds. I now invite Melanie Matthews of the Division of Nursing Education to propose.
protocol has already been established. Have we really been following the news? National news, regional news, international news? If we were really following the news, then we would have realized that majority of reported COVID-19 positive cases are amongst the unvaccinated. Thus emphasizing the fact that the COVID-19 vaccine, once acquired before face-to-face learning instruction, can lower the risk of infection and decrease the risk of serious illness and hospitalization in our students. Our worthy opponent stated that there is not enough evidence supporting vaccination. However, where is the credible source to support this notion? COVID-19 has been proven to significantly lower the risk of infection. A new CDC study finds that the mRNA COVID-19 vaccine authorized by the Food and Drug Administration, namely Pfizer and Moderna, reduce the risk of infection by 91% for fully vaccinated people. This adds to the growing body of real-world evidence of their effectiveness. Consider this. According to CDC Director, Dr. Rochelle P. Walensky, and I quote, COVID-19 vaccines are a critical tool in overcoming this pandemic. Findings from the extended time frame of this study add to accumulating evidence that the mRNA COVID-19 vaccine are effective at preventing most infection. But fully vaccinated persons who get COVID are likely to have milder, shorter illness and appear to be less likely to spread the virus to others. These benefits are another important reason to be vaccinated. End of quote. Madam Moderator, as we can see, these findings exemplify the benefits of mandated vaccines for our eligible students due to its ability to reduce infection, thus allowing students to attend face-to-face instruction comfortably and placing the minds of parents at ease. It can be argued that the diet our students are on and their daily commute to face-to-face class poses a higher risk to their well-being than them acquiring immunization against COVID-19 before accessing face-to-face learning. We therefore cannot simply ignore that vaccination or immunization significantly lowers the risk of serious infection from the virus, as stated in our previous arguments. In addition, vaccines also decrease the risk of our students being hospitalized for long periods of time. Would this not prevent them from missing face-to-face learning entirely? According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, published in the Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report, the mRNA vaccine Pfizer has been effective in younger children as well as adults in the real world as in the clinical trials that led to the authorization of their use. That study found that full vaccination reduced
the risk of COVID-19 related hospitalization in 94% of individuals, including young children. Madam Moderator, with evidence being presented right now, society can feel comfortable knowing that vaccines almost completely reduces the risk of severe illness and hospitalization in our students. Is this not what we want collectively? To conclude, it is imperative that we encourage all eligible students to be mandated to take a COVID-19 vaccine before being allowed face-to-face instruction. We have argued that prior vaccination protects our children by significantly lowering the risk of infection. We also highlighted that vaccination decreases the risk of serious illness and hospitalization, which are both noteworthy benefits that should be taken into consideration. Madam Moderator, what is left to be said? Who don't hear must feel.
Thank you very much, Melanie. Melanie spoke for a total of 6 minutes and 31 seconds. Both of our teams are now going to be allowed to prepare their rebuttal. You will have 5 minutes to do so. The proposition and the opposition leader on both sides will present. Ms. Batiste from the Division of Arts, Sciences and General Studies will go first, followed by Ms. McLean from the Division of Nursing Education. Your 5 minutes starts now.
Hello to Ruby, introducing the smart new digital customer service assistant from Digicel. Ruby is at your service 24/7, giving you all the answers you need whenever, wherever. Use the live chat feature in the My Digicel app and type, "Hey Ruby," to get started. And now, you can also chat with a live Digicel customer care agent 24 hours per day. Hey Ruby. Say hello to Ruby, introducing the smart new digital customer service assistant from Digicel. Ruby is at your service 24/7, giving you all the answers you need whenever, wherever. Use the live chat feature in the My Digicel app and type, "Hey Ruby," to get started. And now, you can also chat with a live Digicel customer care agent 24 hours per day. Hey Ruby.
Protocol has already been established. What is a safe environment? When I think of a safe environment, I think of an environment where there is no chance, or a chance slim to none, of our students being harmed. Don't you? It was said that the implementation of this mandate would create a safe environment for our students. But to that I ask, how so? Can't our students still contract the virus if they are vaccinated? I mean, the chance is slim, but there is still a chance. So should we stop our entire educational system based on maybe this won't happen? Maybe the spread won't continue. Have you been listening to the news? Look at the situation in our country after hosting vaccinated-only parties. Aren't the cases on the rise once again? Isn't the fact that they were vaccinated only supposed to stop the spread? Are we supposed to have cases rising? I think not. Look at Cabinet. Cabinet has been postponed because the members, vaccinated members, are home sick with the virus. Isn't this spread? Isn't this conception of the virus by people who are vaccinated? Chance is slim, but it's not non-existent. It was also said that eligible students should take the vaccine. But because I am eligible, does that mean I am an adult? To the people in the audience who have children under the age of 18, is your child an adult? Can they do just what they want to do? The eligibility age for taking the vaccine is 12 years old. But if I had a child, my 12-year-old child cannot tell me what is best for them. I decide as a parent, don't I? And due to the mass uncertainty surrounding the vaccine and the fact that a vaccine is made to see a strain of virus and attack it, while COVID is a virus of many strains, are we to assume that a vaccine that was designed for one strain is going to be able to stop all the others? Am I as a parent supposed to base my child's health on your if, on your maybe? It's a mandate. It's not based on the views of one division only. It's based on parents, teachers, students, because this is our future. This is the kind of society we are looking forward to creating. Are we going to stop our children from advancing and learning and being efficient based on a maybe? We don't know what the future holds. We can die today. I can die right now. So let us not base our future on an if or a maybe. Let us move ahead and make decisions based on what we know now, not facts, not speculation.
Thank you, Mariah. Spoke for 3 minutes and 24 seconds. I now invite Shadon McLean to rebut.
Protocol having been established, good morning again. Now, our worthy opponents mentioned the fact that, that vaccinated students are still at the risk of contracting the COVID-19 virus. Well, we need to take into account that though this possibility can happen, the risk of severe illness is significantly lowered, reducing the risk of transmission amongst our students. Might I remind you that our students are not in contact with themselves? Might I also educate our worthy opponents on the fact that eligibility has nothing to do with adulthood? Face-to-face, unvaccinated students are at a disadvantage. However, these students can still contract COVID outside of school. Understand that the possibility of death and severe. Now, let me bring it home a little. Also, all of the COVID-19, 86 of the COVID statistic, public health will always take priority over individual autonomy, Madam Speaker. And for that reason, we cannot allow internet know-it-alls who lack credible information to sway and convince our population that our students, eligible students, should not be vaccinated before being allowed to access face-to-face learning. We know better, and we need to act on this.
Thank you, Sharon. Sharon spoke for 2 minutes and 48 seconds. So that brings to an end our first preliminary round between the Division of Arts, Sciences and General Studies and the Division of Nursing Education. Great job to both of our divisions. I am sure those of us here in the audience, we would have enjoyed points and noted on both sides. And I can stand here so you can see me, yes? So I'm sure you would have enjoyed that first debate, am I right? Yes, you did. You would have learned points from both sides of the argument. Okay, so thank you very much, debaters. Thank you very much for participating. We were very happy to have you and to have you do such a good job. Okay, so you can take your seats in the audience. Miss Kirby, our Debating Society head, will collect the first round score sheets to tabulate. Our judges want to have a very quick and brief discussion. So, preliminary to the Division of Teacher Education and the Division of Technical and Vocational Education, please get ready. We will start shortly with the second round of debates. And for our sponsors, once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, the National Lotteries Authority, the Games Book Center, Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, and Digicel. One of our sponsors, we have a giveaway for our online audience today from one of our sponsors from Digicel. So the first person to respond, I will just await Miss Kirby so she can check the online audience to see who our winner will be so that it will be fair. So our online audience, please get ready. We have a giveaway for you. And those of us here in the audience, I'm sure we also have some thoughts on the topic which we just debated. I know some students were waiting to give their input. So students who wish to give their input on the just recently concluded topic, be on standby, and I am just awaiting Ms. Kirby for us to do our online giveaway from Digicel, one of our sponsors. Are we back? Yes. Okay. So online audience, first person to answer this question correctly
will win a prize from Digicel, and Miss Kirby is currently viewing online so that she will see on our stream and our Facebook stream who the first response is. Okay, so are you ready? Online audience, I hope you are. Which year did the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College host the Windward Islands debating competition? Which year did the SVGCC host the Windward Islands debating competition? Our online audience, first person to reply will win a prize from first correct response. Sorry, will. Okay. Okay, so we have a winner online. Miss Aisha Richardson would have correctly answered that the first year we hosted the WIDC competition here in St. Vincent was in 2018, right here at our Villa campus. It was held in March, and the Dominica State College would have won in 2018 when we hosted. We are hoping to host the competition next in 2024. We return. Ooh, I'm here in 2023. I'm mixing up my years. But yes, we're hoping to host perhaps the next round, maybe next year in 2023, I'm being told. And we would have hosted in 2018. Now, I would have said, whilst we await our judges to return, one of our students, I think, had some input on the topic we would have just recently concluded. Yes? Any of our audience members wish to comment, add their input? No? Ms. Kirby will take the mic round to the audience members. If you do not wish to come to the podium, you can stand where you are. Ms. Kirby, if you can just walk with the sanitizer bottles so they can sanitize before they hold the mic, or you would hold for them. Okay.
So we usually tend to have a discussion surrounding the topics. So if you have any comments, it doesn't necessarily need to be who you, it shouldn't be actually who you think won, but more so an open discussion about the topic. I know we had Darius, who had some comments and some questions, and it's just an open discussion, so you guys can feel free to talk. So you're going to come up here, Darius. We want to get you in camera range. Ready for the video light? Come, you just sang a whole anthem. You can't be that shy. Come on. And you did an awesome job at the anthem. So what were your comments?
Good morning, everyone. My question was, what is the alternative that will be provided by the government for these students who are unvaccinated, considering that they may mandate the vaccine?
So Darius, they will mandate it for who exactly?
Well, for the students.
For the students?
Yeah.
So any students have any input on Darius's question?
What do you guys think about Darius's question? Which was again, what was it, Darius? What alternative? Nursing, would you like to comment? Shadin, come. And remember, this is just an open discussion to get your thoughts, nothing more.
Darius, right? Well, Darius, in terms of alternatives, I think we will get closer to deciding alternatives and effective alternatives if everybody abides by and follow the protocols and policies that we have in place. Because, I mean, if we don't, we're seeing now that everything is at a standstill. You know, we can't make final decisions because a lot of our population isn't vaccinated. So a lot of the things that we are accustomed to, you know, we may not have them today. So in terms of alternatives, we have to wait and see.
In other words, we'll see how it goes. Anybody else like to offer any comments? El Dante, what do you think? Come and share your thoughts. I'm picking on you guys as if we're in class. Come. What are your thoughts? Your thoughts on the debate that you just witnessed? You can also give comments regarding some of their arguments or anything like that.
Oh, well, to be honest, I think that the Division of Nursing really did a good presentation. Like, they really made it feel convincing that their side is really and truly. But I want to see how it really goes. Really and truly, my thoughts on this is a good competition so far. I don't like being pulled out of the crowd so unexpectedly. So, yeah.
Thank you. Let me see who else I'm going to pull on. Come, Olivia. Share your thoughts. Come. Oh, Olivia is eating. Let's see. DNA, come. Come, Dags. Come. Atalia, come. Come and share your thoughts. So Atalia, let's hear from you. You've just seen the debate. What do you think? How did they do in your opinion? What are your thoughts on the arguments presented?
I think that both teams made very good points, but to add on to what she said that she doesn't have any idea about alternatives. So I want to say that I do not think that students need to be vaccinated to return to school. However, the government, which these rules are already publicized, that we should wear our masks, wash our hands, we can still let students come to school, but they will have to follow certain measures put in place by the government and administration of the school.
And I would like to take this opportunity to remind viewers that at the SVGCC we have implemented several COVID-19 protocols, including regular temperature checks upon entry, the mandatory wearing of masks, sanitization stations throughout, and for many programs we have also implemented a blended approach to reduce on-campus student population. Any other comments? Okay, wonderful. So Aisha Richardson, you are listening, because we see you on the stream. Please message the college's Facebook account and we'll organize for you to collect your prize courtesy the Better Together Network Digicel.
Say hello to Ruby. Introducing the smart new digital customer service assistant from Digicel. Ruby is at your service 24/7, giving you all the answers you need whenever, wherever. Use the live chat feature in the My Digicel app and type, "Hey Ruby," to get started. And now, you can also chat with a live Digicel customer care agent 24 hours per day. Hey Ruby. Say hello to Ruby. Introducing the smart new digital customer service assistant from Digicel. Ruby is at your service 24/7, giving you all the answers you need whenever, wherever. Use the live chat feature in the My Digicel app and type, "Hey Ruby," to get started. And now, you can also chat with a live Digicel customer care agent 24 hours per day. Hey Ruby.
Okay, thank you and welcome back to our debate competition. Today we are going to move into the preliminary round, the second preliminary round, and we are going to have the Division of Teacher Education and the Division of Technical and Vocational Education. As I call your name, if you can come forward. So for the Division of Teacher Education, who will be proposing, we have Miss Naisha Richards, the leader of that team, and Mr. Junior Primus, the second speaker. For the Division of Technical and Vocational Education, we have Miss Sarah Turton, the leader, and we have Miss Xavier Matthews, the seconder. Now for this round, the topic will be different, and the topic is, judges, are you ready? The topic is, the shift to virtual learning during the pandemic has exposed the region's failure to successfully integrate ICT into our education system. The shift to virtual learning during the pandemic has exposed the region's failure to successfully integrate ICT into our education system. Let me just remind the teams once more, both of your first speakers will speak for 10 minutes, your second speaker for 7 minutes, and your rebuttal is to be 5 minutes. You will hear the bell at the 1 minute mark, and then you will hear the bell at the end once more. For the second round, the 9 minute, 1 minute to the end of at the 9th minute. For the second round, DTE will be proposing and the technical division will be opposing, okay? And the DTE will be going first, okay? So judges, just to clarify for your speakers once more, your score sheets, Miss Naisha Richards will be the proposition leader from the Division of Teacher Education. Naisha Richards is the proposition leader. Junior Primus is the proposition second. Leader. And Xavier. And Xavier Matthews is the opposition seconder. Okay? So Naisha will speak first, followed by Sarah, followed by Junior, followed by Xavier. Okay? Thank you. So I invite Miss Naisha Richards to the podium, the proposition leader, to present.
Director of the Director of the SVGCC, Mr. Nigel Scott, Madam Moderator, esteemed judges, opponents, good morning. The level of ICT integration within the region's education system was always insufficient. The COVID-19 pandemic only served to exacerbate already unfavorable circumstances by shining a light on the flaws plaguing our region's education system. In essence, this pandemic exposed our underlying conditions. That is why my team and I stand here today in unyielding agreement of the moot. The shift to virtual learning during the COVID-19 pandemic revealed the region's failure to successfully integrate ICT into our education system. I will elucidate my stance through the reinforcement of the following points. Point 1, the region's inaccessibility to crucial ICT infrastructure and resources left many students unable to access online learning. And point 2, the concerning levels of digital illiteracy amongst our teachers convey the failed integration of ICT within our education system. Permit me to define this key term. According to the UNESCO Institute of Statistics, information and communication technologies, or ICT, are a diverse set of technological tools that allow for the transmission, storage, creation, and exchange of information. In education, to integrate technology into instruction to enhance the delivery of information. Access is one of the basic prerequisites for the implementation of ICT in schools. However, inaccessibility to crucial resources hindered the implementation of ICTs within our region's education system. And this problem only continued to persist throughout the pandemic. Further, government attempts to rectify this issue have been largely ineffective. Let us momentarily cast our gaze to Jamaica, where in 2020, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Jasper Gabriel, revealed that only 40% of Jamaican students had internet access or devices that would have allowed them to access virtual learning. Let me repeat that. That means that over 50% of fine Jamaican students were left stranded. This figure translates into over 300,000 students, a figure that is almost 3 times the population of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But fear not, a reaction. In response to this crisis, in a mid-2021 address, the Honorable Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, assured the public that the government is working tirelessly to implement a system of broadband internet access across Jamaica. But this is just a reactionary response to the lack of ICT that exists within the Caribbean region. In Barbados, similar issues persist. In an interview conducted by Barbados Today, Barbados Union of Teacher President Pedro Shepherd complained that an alarming number of Barbadian students did not have internet, have devices. They did not have any of the facilities necessary to access online learning. And this issue is only inflamed by the fact that many of their schools and community centers do not have internet access, do not have phone service, do not have functioning devices that would have allowed for the temporary solution of letting students access instruction on the school compound. But fear not, another reaction. our friendly neighborhood Flo donated 50 MiFi devices and 50 free data plans to students. A move that I would venture to say is as effective as placing a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. But I digress. Madam Chairperson, make no mistake, government initiatives such as these that attempt to address the issue of inaccessibility are commendable. But they are too little, too late. These initiatives only serve as a glaring reminder of our failure to integrate ICT within our region's education system. The fact is, if ICT was properly integrated pre-pandemic, there would be no need for initiatives, no need for donations, and no need for promises, and our region and our region's children would not be left in limbo. Additionally, the COVID-19 pandemic has exposed a concerning lack of digital literacy within our teachers, thus prompting nations to hurriedly implement several ICT policies post-pandemic. For instance, according to Sanatan 2020, teachers in Trinidad and Tobago were made to undergo ICT programs that would have allowed them to familiarize themselves with technology in learning. In Jamaica, a similar crisis persists. The UWI Open Campus partnered with UNESCO and the Ministry of Education to launch the Online and Blended Professional Workshop Development Program. This program was meant to train teachers to use ICT within their classrooms. In St. Vincent, we did not escape this craze. In an interview with El Lavia, a senior primary school teacher, Lavia declares that teachers were made to undergo professional development programs on how to use online platforms such as Microsoft Teams for teaching. Madam Chairperson, I must ask you this. Our teachers are the ones responsible for our students' learning. But if teachers do not have the facilities to teach online, is learning truly possible? And how then can we confidently claim that ICT was implemented into our region's education system if these problems persist? This is not to disparage our fine teachers. However, the fact is that if ICT was implemented within our education system, teachers would not be lacking digital literacy. Madam Chairperson, in some cases, online classes devolved into mobile phone classes. In an interview conducted with El Lavia again in 2020, El Lavia remarked that teachers moved teaching to WhatsApp because using Microsoft Teams proved to be too challenging to maneuver. In Trinidad and Tobago, similar issues. Sanatan 2020 states that a significant portion of teaching and communication has moved to text, as teaching and monitoring participation online was simply too difficult to use, or to maneuver, rather. Once again, this is not an effort to disparage our fine teachers. This simply comes because our teachers have never had to do things another way. Honorable Chair, moderator, esteemed judges, worthy opponents, no education system is perfect. However, it is the mark of all great regions to be able to recognize their faults. And in our case, the lax integration of ICT pre-pandemic proved to be our Achilles heel when the pandemic struck. This poor integration manifested itself in the inaccessibility to crucial resources and infrastructure, and in teachers' concerning levels of digital illiteracy. Hence, we call you to join in agreement with us that the pandemic showed that there was a lax integration of ICT within our region's education system. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Naisha. Naisha spoke for 10 minutes and 12 seconds. I now invite Ms. Sarah Turton, the opposition leader, the opposing leader, to present.
Sometimes it is easy to look back and say, could have, should have, or would have. But let us not pretend as if events such as the COVID-19 pandemic happen every day. Honorable juries, respective teachers, fellow competitors, timekeeper, ladies and gentlemen, a very cheerful good morning to all. The moot put forward today is a shift to virtual learning during the pandemic has exposed the region's failure to successfully integrate ICT into our educational system. Before I go any further, let's look at what this moot really means by looking at some important definitions. Integrate. What is integrate? It is mentioned in the moot, but do my fellow opponents know what this word really means? According to the Oxford Learning Dictionary, integrate means to combine one thing with another to form a whole. Another important definition we need to look at is ICT. ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. Now, according to UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, Cultural Organization, ICT refers to a set of technology tools and resources used to transmit, store, create, share, or exchange information. And from our understanding, we believe that the region mentioned in the moot is the English-speaking Caribbean countries. Essentially, this moot is saying that the Caribbean region failed to successfully blend ICT challenges such as telecommunication, electronic textbooks, and distance capability into our education system. And that the shift to virtual learning during the pandemic has exposed this failure of the region. Madam Moderator, this side of the House strongly disagree with that position. How can my worthy opponents propose this moot when Caribbean countries have done 3 things to successfully integrate ICT into our education system, which include ICT policy formulation, ICT implementation, and overcoming ICT challenges during the pandemic? Firstly, let's start with successful ICT policy formulation. From north, south, east, and west, Caribbean government had formulated ICT policies from way back in the 1990s. Madam Moderator, today I will be listing 3 Caribbean countries that successfully formulated ICT policies into their education system. Trinidad. Trinidad formulated the ICT plan 2003 to 2008 that was adopted in 2003. Trinidad and Tobago had a long history using and experimenting with ICT in schools. According to the Ministry of Education, in Trinidad and Tobago, around 1999, they purchased 720 additional computers, with schools receiving lab equipped with 10 computers. Madam Moderator, in 1984, the National Institute of Higher Education placed 4 Macintosh computers in 35 secondary schools. And let's bear in mind that 1984 was the same year that the Macintosh product line was launched. Today, Madam Moderator, all schools in Trinidad and Tobago are fully equipped with ICT infrastructure. Finally, as estimated, half of secondary school teachers have ICT skills. According to the Ministry of Education, between 1998 and 2001, they provided training to about 3,000 teachers, and teachers have acquired computers for home use through a government subsidy started in 1998. Madam Moderator, I would like you to remember this. Success and failure when it comes to technology are based on adaptability. Moderator, we had something to work with and we adapted. Another Caribbean country that I would like to say to you guys today is Jamaica. Jamaica formulated 2 ICT policies, but only one of them I will mention, and this is ICT policy in education that was drafted in December 1998. Jamaica was among the first in the Caribbean to acquire computers and internet connection. The Jamaica 2000 project led to the installation of computer labs in all secondary schools to support courses in computer studies and computer science. Jamaica continues up to this day to launch big ICT projects under the country's ICT strategy. Started in 1998, the MOE and Youth Jamaica said it has worked to ensure that all primary schools with electricity have had at least one computer with internet connection. The major implementation of ICT in Jamaica secondary schools is the Jamaica Project. And lastly, over 200 principals participated in one-year leadership courses addressing ICT as a broader transformation of teaching and learning. So, Madam Moderator, please remember this. Success and failure when used in technology are based on adaptability. Moderator, we had something to work with and we adapted. So now, let's bring it to our home country, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. St. Vincent and the Grenadines formulated 3 ICT policies, and one of them that I will mention is ICT policy on the uses of ICT in education that was drafted in 2004. In 2002, all secondary schools and 25% of primary schools receive computer labs to support in IT exam preparation and basic computer skills. Madam Moderator, how could my opponents propose the moot when all teachers in training have to do ICT courses before they graduate? I hope my opponents do well in those courses if you haven't done them as yet. Furthermore, the support that helps to successfully integrate ICT into our education system have come from the NTRC, which provides cheap and sometimes free Wi-Fi to disadvantaged students. We also had help from external sources such as companies that provide tech devices such as the Kindle Fire that teachers have been using to promote to their students to read books online. Madam Moderator, the evidence of the successful integration of ICT in education is overwhelming. We also had assistance from companies such as Google that make available for free platforms such as Google Meet, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, and others. Have you ever wondered how we were able to survive despite all the challenges we faced during the pandemic? Some of us are here and we successfully graduated from secondary school. Others are here, we successfully passed our year 1 courses and are now in second year. Others have graduated and moved on with their life. But how? Have you ever wondered how? Well, we were resilient and we had a firm foundation in ICT integration. Madam Moderator, we were able to overcome ICT challenges because our government had ICT policies, implemented these ICT policies, and caused us to be ready for what was thrown at us, surprisingly, by the COVID-19 pandemic. This is why our education system has survived. So yes, the pandemic exposed ICT challenges to us, but to say it exposed the region's failure to successfully integrate ICT in our education is a big lie. And my opponents must stop telling that lie. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Sarah spoke for 9 minutes and 10 seconds. I now invite Mr. Junior. Sorry.
Protocol already being established. Good morning to each and everyone, and to everyone under the sound of my voice. Every hour a child spends in the classroom is precious. This amounts of opportunity are lost. Henrietta Fore, UNICEF Executive Director. The COVID-19 pandemic has profoundly changed society by exposing the region's social and economic inequalities. As a result, regional governments suspended face-to-face classes in an attempt to curb the spread of this viral disease. Madam Chairperson, after a thorough investigation, my team and I stand in solemn congruence that the extensive amount of time needed to transition from the physical classroom to the online classroom, as well as the high levels of disharmony among schools' transition into the online environment, has unequivocally shown the region's failure to integrate ICT into our education system. Retrospectively, the Caribbean region has lost an astronomical amount of time to transition into the online classroom. Take a look at Grenada. UNESCO disclosed that Grenada lost 69 weeks worth of instructional time since the pandemic arrived at its shores. The Ministry of Education, Human Resource Development, Religious Affairs, and Information said schools will remain closed until further notice. Until further notice. The political penumbra used to conceal the high levels of uncertainty and unpredictability which the situation has placed the speaker. A ministry survey showed that 63% of students in the Tri-Island state were unable to access classes during the first closure period of the schools. 63%. 63% translate to over 24,000 children who were left unable to access online classes for 5 months. 5 months, Madam Modulator. If the government had not taken the integration of ICT into the classroom for granted, then the children would not be disadvantaged for 5 months. They would not be abandoned for 5 months. And they would not be neglected for 5 months. Does this show successful integration of ICT into our education system? The other question, Madam Chairperson, for those children who are not involved in the online learning environment, will the instructional time lost ever be regained? If not, can we correctly postulate that those inactive students will be in a worse off position post-pandemic? Since the pandemic began, the region has lost an average of 153 school days, which equates to 7 months. The question is, Madam Moderator, could the transitional time have been shortened if our region's government had successfully incorporated ICT into our education system pre-pandemic? Fortunately, the facade that our region has successfully integrated ICT within its education system was dispelled through the disharmony in the school's transition to the online environment. To show this, let me peep in my own bowl. Minister of Education, Honorable Curtis King, outlined the platforms that schools were to use to conduct classes in a televised media release. However, many of these platforms crashed. Ask the teachers, ask the students how many times Microsoft Teams crashed. Even here at the SVGCC, where our online platform, the Big Blue Button, and our online learning hub, Moodle, crashes due to system overload. If the thorough inspection for implementation had been done, then these difficulties would have been assuaged. We did not have to transfer onto Google Meet when the standard platforms were established. This simply shows that, yes, we had the plans, we tried to implement the plans, but those implementations were simply insufficient. Therefore, Madam Modulator, we implore you to observe the deficits within the region's provision of online education during this time of pandemic. And we ask of you to consider the transition time needed in the schools as a transition and stand in tandem with our stance that the shift to virtual learning during the pandemic has unambiguously exposed the region's failure to successfully integrate ICT into our education system.
Thank you, Junior. Junior spoke for 6 minutes and 23 seconds. And now Javier Matthews of the Division of Technical and Vocational Education to make her presentation.
Yes. Scientists don't just wake up one day and send a rocket into space, do they? It takes years of research, testing, and implementation, and then one day, all of that preparation is put to the test when the rocket is finally launched. If the rocket explodes or falls back to Earth, we can say the process has failed. If, however, there were some technical glitches, but we overcame those and the rocket was successfully launched, how can we honestly say that the process has failed? Madam Moderator, the same goes for the implementation of ICT in the education system across the region. And like my colleague before me, I wish to reiterate that the region has not failed to successfully implement ICT in the education system. Instead, what the COVID-19 pandemic has done is to expose our resilience and successes in ICT. In this speech, we will discuss the measurements used to prove our point. What will failure to integrate ICT really look like? Failure would mean that we had no ICT policies in place and that we made no moves to implement them, but my partner on this side already showed that that is not the case. Failure would mean a lack of computer labs or no upgraded computer labs, no internet connection, no smart whiteboards, no projectors and other ICT tools and equipment, but that is not the case. Failure would mean no training, no teacher training in ICT, but Madam Moderator, all over the Caribbean region, as my partner mentioned before, governments along with ministries of education ensure that teachers get specific professional development opportunities in order to increase their ability for learning assessment, instruction, accessing online resources, and fostering students' interaction and collaboration. According to UNESCO's International Institute for Educational Planning, teacher policies also target basic ICT literacy skills and ICT use in pedagogical settings. At every recognized teaching training school in the region, teachers and administrators are being trained in how to integrate ICT in the classrooms and the curriculum. Madam Moderator, this training started long before the COVID-19 pandemic. Failure would mean no significant financial investment, but millions of dollars was spent across the region to improve telecommunication infrastructure. Failure would mean the absence of the UE Open Campus, which facilitates online learning, but the University of the West Indies offer successful courses online since 2008, some 12 years before the COVID-19 pandemic, with hundreds of graduate students gaining their degree, gaining their undergraduate and graduate degrees. How can we then say we have failed to successfully integrate ICT in the education system? Yes, there were some challenges, and the COVID-19 pandemic exposed some challenges, but can we call those challenges failure? There was the challenge of school drops out, but students have been dropping out of school long before the COVID-19 pandemic, and some of those students gained second chances and now have their degrees from online institutions such as the University of the West Indies. There was the challenge of reported cheating by students and improving the types of questions used for assessment. There was the challenge of external assessment by the regional examining body, CXC, especially as virtual marking was preferred, but CXC was already integrating ICT in its marking since 2013 and had the knowledge of how to go about virtual marking long before the pandemic. There was the challenge of students' engagement online, but teachers adjusted the online environment, and the online environment made it easier for them to incorporate guest lectures, videos, animations, and other teaching aids to help students learn more effectively, especially for the visual learners. There was the challenge of connectivity, but entities such as DigiCell and the Telecommunication Regulatory Commission and others made major moves to respond to this by providing reduced costs or free internet connection and devices to many students to connect them. For instance, there was a Schoolers Prime Bundle, a special plan that allows students who purchase a new SIM card to access school benefits for school purposes. There was the challenge of unstable connectivity in some cases, but we successfully completed all semesters so far during the pandemic. Because we were resilient, we did not fail. So overall, we had ICT policies, we implemented ICT policies, we trained teachers in ICT policies, and this is why we did not fail. So I urge my colleagues not to confuse challenge with failure, because we successfully faced our challenges.
Thank you very much, Ms. Matthews. Ms. Matthews spoke for 5 minutes and 36 seconds. Okay, now each team will have 5 minutes to prepare their rebuttal. Okay, so you have 5 minutes to do so, starting now.
Introducing the smart new digital customer service assistant from Digicel. Ruby is at your service 24/7, giving you all the answers you need whenever, wherever. Use the live chat feature in the My Digicel app and type, "Hey Ruby," to get started. And now, you can also chat with a live Digicel customer care agent 24 hours per day. Hey Ruby.
minute and then again at the 5th minute.
Good morning again. Today, I stand here envious of my worthy opponents, as I too wish that I could spend most of my time living under a rock. Our opponents posited that Trinidad and Tobago formulated ICT policies and ensured that all teachers have digital literacy. This claim is provably false. All we need to do is check the facts. Sanatan 2020 declared that Trinidad and Tobago was left in crisis, grappling to deal with the concerning levels of digital illiteracy amongst their teachers. Thus, Trinidad and Tobago was left to implement piecemeal emergency programs to address this issue. Also declared that Macintosh donated 4 devices. Now, granted, I have never been to Trinidad and Tobago, and thus I cannot conclusively say how many students exist within their schools, but I am certain that there are more than 4 students. But that is just me. 4 computers for how many? 4 computers for 400? And this is successful integration? Our opponents also claimed that all Jamaican students have access to devices due to the policy that the government implemented. Now, this might have been true years ago when this policy was implemented, but all you have to do is check the facts. The recent facts. The president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Jasper Gabriel, declared that his survey showed that over 50% of Jamaican students were left. Students had access to devices if our facts show the contrary. Another claim was that at least one functional computer is present with Wi-Fi, one functional computer with Wi-Fi is present across Jamaican schools. Once again, I have never been to Jamaica. I do not know how these things are done. I do not know the number of students in Jamaican schools, but I can venture to say that it is more than 1. Thus, we cannot confidently say that ICT was. Our opponents also claimed that teachers are made to undergo online classes before graduation. That may be true, but there is a difference between policy and implementation. And I am lucky to stand here today as a student of the Division of Teacher Education, and I am lucky that other students are also here to stand in agreement with me. I cannot tell you the last time I undergone. One day I will be able to pass such course once the opportunity is made available to me. Our opponents pondered, what is failure? What is failure? Failure does not mean no integration. The moot said successful integration. Integration cannot be successful until all students have access to devices. Integration cannot be successful until policy is made into actual action. We do not need policy. We do not need promises. Show me action and show me results. Let us not settle for the bare minimum. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Naisha Richards, who spoke for 4 minutes and 34 seconds. Okay, I now invite Sarah from the Division of Technical and Vocational Education to do her rebuttal.
everyone again. My opponents said that there were lack of ICT policies and lack of ICT devices. Do you remember the one laptop per child initiative? Do you remember the free tablets per students and telecommunication provider that facilitate learning? Do you remember that? I guess not. You guys said that classes crash, but weren't the classes recorded? If the classes were crash, Google Meet provided an option to record classes, which means that all students could able to access the recording. Am I right or am I wrong? Even though the platforms were not able to successfully, go through, right? You guys were successful. Did you guys do all courses face-to-face? Weren't some online? To my opponents, you act as if the pandemic sent out an invitation or sent out an hint and say, world, prepare, I am coming. It was an unexpected pandemic. You talked about the 4 Macintosh computers. Isn't 4 better than none? My opponent acts as if all classes have IT the same day and the same time. 4 is better than none. What is failure? My opponent asks. Failure means no IC devices. Failure means that we couldn't access the platforms like Google Meet, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, and others. And if we couldn't access those platforms, where would you guys been today? Where? Okay. Overall, we had ICT policies. Before I go any further, Madam Moderator and judges, and to my audience, I don't have to do a long rebuttal like my opponents. My facts were solid, very solid, and we got them from good sources. So in ICT, this is why we did not fail. We were resilient. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Sarah spoke for 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Now that brings to an end. That brings to an end our second round. Us that the audience, once again, you would have been edified by this discussion between these 2 divisions, just like the first round. And we will now have the score sheets tabulated. So our online audience, can our online audience get ready for the second giveaway? Miss Kirby will be checking online to see who the first person will be that will answer correctly. Okay, so our online audience, I hope you're ready. Miss Kirby is in position. So the first person to answer correctly, in which year in competition? In which year and where did the SVGCC win the WIDC competition?
sponsor Digicel. We also thank our other sponsors today, Games Book Center, the NLA, the Teachers Cooperative Credit Union. So our online. Do we have an online winner on our stream? Our question once more. When and where did the SVGCC win the... So we just have two of our members of our staff auditing to select a winner. So Tyrese. Okay, so our winner. Okay, yes. Tyrese McIntosh. Oh, Tyrese in the room, so... Okay. So Nistan does not receive the prize because he's one of our participants in the competition. Tyrese McIntosh of the Division of Arts, Sciences and General Studies, I believe, wins the second prize. Our prize winners, I know our first one, Miss Aisha Richardson, she is online, so please contact our Communications and Marketing Manager, Miss Tedra Kirby, or we will be in contact with you for your prize. Now, very wrongs today. We had such a good time, good discussion, great presentations from all of our divisions. And please, we will be back here tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. We will be streaming live. We are awaiting the tabulation of the results. But we will be back online tomorrow at 1 p.m. to stream the finals. And we are awaiting the results to announce our two divisions who will be going forward to the finals. Once again, thanking our sponsors, the National Lotteries Authority, the Teachers Cooperative Credit Union. Okay, I'm being told that results from the second round, and so we will announce both winners together. Both teams who will be going forward to the final. Checking our online feed. Audience, do you have any comments? Did you enjoy our preliminary rounds today? Anyone? Tomorrow will be posted on our social media handles. For tomorrow's final, immense mismanagement of the pandemic. So the finals topic once more for tomorrow, the management of the pandemic. Our two teams will be debating that topic tomorrow. We're not sure who the two teams are just yet, but I'm sure we'll all be back in anticipation of what I'm sure will be a lively discussion.
hello to Ruby for all the answers you need whenever, wherever. Use the live chat feature in the My Digicel app and type "Hey Ruby" to get started. And now you can also chat with a live Digicel customer care agent 24 hours per day. Hey Ruby. hello to Ruby, introducing the smart new digital customer service assistant from Digicel. Ruby is at your service 24/7, giving you all the answers you need whenever, wherever. Use the live chat feature in the My Digicel app and type "Hey Ruby" to get started. And now you can also chat with a live Digicel customer care agent 24 hours per day. Hey Ruby. Say hello to Ruby. Introduce
My name is Michaela Friday, and welcome to the Division of Arts, Sciences, and General Studies here at the Villa campus.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Thank you once again for tuning in today to our preliminary round. Before we announce the results, I will invite our Chief Judge, Mrs. Eula Adams, to give brief remarks, followed by Mr. Roosevelt John, who was one of our best speaker judges, to also give brief remarks, just to give the debaters some advice going into the finals tomorrow. Our judges will be back tomorrow again to judge the finals, so I'm sure that will be of great assistance to them. So, Mrs. Adams?
Our director, Mr. Nigel Scott, and everyone else present here. Have a good day. I am very pleased to be here today, not necessarily in the capacity of Chief Judge, but somebody who was integrally involved in the Windward Islands debating competition. And I'm very pleased to see how our local competition here has grown over the years. I know if it was still like 2017, I would have been totally disappointed. But I am very happy for the work that is put in by Miss Tedra Kirby and everyone else who work along with her. I am very happy also to see the involvement of the division at some point, but I'm very happy to see that technical has joined the team as well. I am sure that you will agree with me that we had a wonderful time today. Do you? Yes, we truly had a wonderful time listening to our debaters. There was good evidence that they researched the topics, and there was much confidence in their delivery. The tonal modulation was quite good. When they had to be soft, they were soft. When they had to be forceful with the points, they were. And repetition was used also for reinforcement. I was very happy to see that. And I noticed that people did not rely totally on their notes, so they were able to put forward what they had in mind. I spoke with confidence. The fact that you did not have to rely on your notes, you spoke with confidence. Also, there was good evidence of teamwork in your presentation. So give yourselves a round of applause. There are a few things I'd like to point out, though, for those persons, those who have to debate tomorrow. We think from the judges' team that there was not much evidence of the definition of terms. In the moot, you needed to define the terms more, have a better definition of your terms, and a clear introduction of your position. Right? Some people said that they had 3 points to speak about, but I don't think we heard 3. We heard the 3 points. So you need to follow through on your points. And the other thing is that in this debate, I think one of the rules of the debate is that you address the moderator. So when you want to address, you say, Madam Moderator, or if it's a male, you say, Mr., or you just say moderator. So you just address the moderator. And another thing is that when you have your rebuttal, please remember that no new information must be introduced in your rebuttal. It was a good competition today, and I hope that it will continue. The St. Vincent the Grenadines Community College, let us call it Debating Society, will continue to grow from strength to strength. All the best for those who have to debate tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Adams. I will now invite Mr. Roosevelt John to give his remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am truly pleased to be here, considering that when I think of my classroom, and I teach a variety of classes, I have to be so creative and such a motivational person to try and get my students to give their comments and ask their questions, and to try and get them to participate orally within the class. And I am so pleased to see that if called upon, we do have the students with the ability to present to a public, and it is no easy task presenting to a public. As teachers, we do it day in, day out, and even times we ourselves are subject to nerves, but it was such an encouragement to see so many students across our division taking the lead in this type of activity. So here are some points that we came up with. We were judging specifically speaking. So we were asked to judge the overall best speaker. So some of the criteria that we looked at were audibility and clarity, articulation, voice modulation, command of material, persuasiveness, fluency, eye contact, and body language. Most of the speakers, in fact, all of the speakers did credible in terms of their delivery. All of them could be clearly heard, some better than others. Articulation was done quite successfully. Yes, there are a few instances where there are some slight errors, but never to the extent of us being concerned that the student isn't able to do it successfully. Voice modulation, excellent. It can do with some improvements in terms of the quality of emotion that is created when you speak. I would encourage you to work on that, maybe in front of your mirror. Listen to yourself, listen to how you either change the quality of your voice, how you bring your points over to get that sort of emotional response from your audience. Command of material, all of the debaters had excellent things on which they presented. Some were more persuasive than others, obviously, but the persuasion, I found myself laughing a couple of times in the humorous way in which they presented their arguments, and often some of the ways in which they politely taunted their opponents throughout the exercise. Fluency was also good. Eye contact was for the most part excellent, except for a few instances where students tended to read a bit, and I want to encourage you to get a lot more familiar with your work so the reading is less. I understand that there are certain quotes, etc., that you need to read. That's perfectly fine. But winning a debate also means that you need to be constantly looking at your audience, engaging them, making them feel a part of what you're saying, and especially the judges. So please work on improving your eye contact. Body language, I really felt a lot of it a lot of the feelings from the participants in terms of what they were saying, their facial expressions, the way in which they presented arguments. I saw a lot of the persuasiveness on their faces, and that was very well done. Body language could do with a bit of improvement, to the extent that there are certain specific, I don't want to say idiosyncratic type of behavior that is specific to our participants. Please work on identifying the things that you do repeatedly in terms of your body posture and your positioning, your bending, etc. And any one of those that you seem to think is distracting, so please videotape yourself. If it's distracting because it's too pronounced, work on dealing with that, because it may take away from the point that you're making. On a whole, I am very well pleased with the results, and I want to congratulate the participants on a job well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. John. Now we have the results. Are you ready? Yes, let's get right into it. So for preliminary one, round one, with 437 points, we have the Division of Arts, Sciences, and General Studies. And with 537 points, we have the Division of Nursing Education, the winner of the first round. Okay, and for our second preliminary round, with 510 points, we have the Division of Technical and Vocational Education. And with 566 points, we have the Division of Teacher Education. So, great job all around, all of our debaters. Please don't be disappointed if you are not in the finals. For those debaters from Technical and DASGS, you are in your first year, correct? Some of you are in your first year, so we're looking forward to seeing some of you next year and probably going with you to St. Lucia, right? So we're going to continue to work with you. Great job all around. If I can have the debaters from the Division of Nursing Education and the Division of Teacher Education to come forward. And Ms. Kirby, if we can do the toss, the coin toss, to know who will be opposing and who will be proposing in tomorrow's finals. So Teacher Ed and Nursing, you can stand. Yeah. So who's calling? Tails, Teacher Ed, and Heads Nursing. Tails, Teacher Ed, proposing or opposing?
We'd like to propose.
So Teacher Ed, the Division of Teacher Education, will be proposing in tomorrow's finals, and the Division of Nursing Education will be opposing in our finals tomorrow. Okay? The topic for tomorrow's finals, the continued spikes of COVID-19 cases in the Caribbean are a direct result of Caribbean government's mismanagement of the pandemic. So the continued spikes of COVID-19 cases in the Caribbean are a direct result of Caribbean government's mismanagement of the pandemic. So we will resume tomorrow at 1 p.m. right here on our SVGC Facebook page and in our Students' Union building. Thank you once more, everyone, for tuning in and for being here today. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow, God's willing. Thank you.
new digital customer service assistant from Digicel. Ruby is at your service 24/7, giving you all the answers you need whenever, wherever. Use the live chat feature in the My Digicel app and type, "Hey Ruby," to get started. And now, you can also chat with a live Digicel customer care agent 24 hours per day. Hey Ruby. Say hello to Ruby. Introducing the smart new digital customer service assistant from Digicel. Ruby is at your service 24/7, giving you all the answers you need whenever, wherever. Use the live chat feature in the My Digicel app and type, "Hey Ruby," to get started. And now, you can also chat with a live Digicel customer care agent 24 hours per day. Hey Ruby. Say
Hello, I'm Maxwell Fergus, Dean of the Division of Arts, Sciences and General Studies. Welcome to our division.
One of the treasures of this division is the Fine Arts, Design, and Cultural Communication Associate degree. As you can see here, we have some murals on campus that exhibit the expressive nature of our students. Even off campus, like for example, in Capital Kingstown, there are murals there that have been done by our students. So right now, I'm standing on the center stage of the campus. We often have presentations here as well as performances. And you can often find students here hanging out when they don't have class time. We call it the octagon. Now behind me, we have 3 lecture theaters, and they can hold at least hundreds of individuals. So these lecture theaters are used to house the audiences for these performances and presentations, as well as larger classes like Associate Degree Business Studies. This is our classroom block. On this block, you'll find numerous classrooms entitled R and a specific number. There's a classroom right here entitled R9. This is the ground floor of the classroom block. Here we have the physics, chemistry, biology, computer science, and language arts labs. And just around the corner, we also have the art room. So this blue area of the campus is the Student Union building. Directly below is our cafeteria, where you can find students hanging out between classes. This building also houses our gym and our student conference room. So directly behind me, we have ample parking spaces for students, as well as all around campus. Directly behind the parking spaces, we have 2 courts that can be used for interdivisional sporting activities. Each court has a bleacher, and underneath these bleachers, we have showers. Okay, so directly across from the Students' Union building, we have the Teachers' building. And here you can find staff and faculty of the Division of Arts, Sciences and General Studies. Hello! Directly below this area, we have the Teachers' Lounge, as well as the Counselor's Office, where you can go for professional, confidential support. So over here, we have the A classrooms. That are elongated classrooms that are used for often larger classes. This is our main library. So, as I said before, this is our main library. We have 2 floors, a ground floor and a first floor. Down here, we can use the computers for research purposes, as well as the reference books for any other research you may need to do. You have the circulation desk where you can get further information as well as assistance. Let's head upstairs. So we have to be very quiet up here because we use it for a lot of research purposes, but as well as it's a place where you can be quiet and study alone. We have different cubicles that you can go to, as well as study rooms where you can study in groups. Okay, so now we're in the administrative building where we have the administrative offices. So as soon as you enter the administrative office, you can find the receptionist at the front desk. And then to the side, we have the bursar's office, as well as the registry, and right next door, the sick bay. Okay, so now we're at the divisional office of the Division of Arts, Sciences and General Studies. Here, all administrative duties pertaining to the students of this division take place. For example, CAPE registration. Hello!
Hi!
This corner of the campus, we have e-college. This is where students can go for support on your e-learning website, student portal, your email, you name it. You come to e-college for all the support you need. We hope to see you soon at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College. Bye!